moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
They love you long time. Me so horny.
How tall are you, Private? Sir, 5'9", sir! 5'9". I didn't know they stacked shit that high.
No! Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get late.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Tuesday night, Home Team Sports. It's the Big Alboski. It's Harry. It's I'm just here so I don't get fined. It's your boys, and we're here to talk. And we're here to talk sports. How you doing, Adrian?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, college basketball is back, baby. Sup, guys? Yes, he gets pissed off for the past month that we haven't talked college football, and so I let everyone know that we're going to talk a little college football today, and now he hits me with college basketball.
I know just as much about college basketball as I know about college football. So this will be fun.
And just not to burst your bubble, Chris Vant, but we're not going to talk college football until the expert gets here, which is Cousin Phil. And we'll talk about that. But boy, do we have a lot. We have a lot, okay? And I want to lead off with the obvious, which is the Atlanta Braves are the world champions of baseball for the first time since 1995. Incidentally, that's the same year that heel turn Harry became a Braves fan. So, Harry, I'm gonna let you talk about this because this is your thing. We all were happy for you, and also Adrian and I, by the way, we called this. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, of course, I'm ecstatic. You know, that goes without saying. But I mean, listen, when you were in their position in the season, and you guys we weren't great at all. We lost our best starting pitcher. He didn't pitch an inning or a pitch this year.
He kind of did.
No. Soroka is our best pitcher.
Oh, okay. They're talking about Soroka. Okay.
Yeah, and he was out. And then, you go through the terrible season we went through, and, then you lost Ronald Acuna. And most people say, all right, next year, whatever. No, they went out and they got players that, unless you know baseball, you had no idea who they were.
They got a bunch of outfielders.
Yeah, and they all delivered in one form or another. They all had moments. And you know what? I'm ecstatic. I did not pick them to beat, honestly, any of the damn teams they beat. I didn't think they were beating.
Yeah.
But their bullpen was phenomenal. Freddie Freeman came up clutch, and every series had a different guy that led them to a world championship.
And I want to give some love to the LCS MVP and the World Series MVP, correctly predicted by me, by the way, in Jorge Soler. Cousin Phil, how do you feel about the Braves winning the World Series when you predicted the Houston Astros?
In 4 different ways: 5 games, 6 games, 7 games, 19 games. It was too many games.
Well deserved, seeing another 20 years.
Says the Cardinals fan who had to win 17 games to still miss the playoffs.
Hi, Cuz. How you feeling tonight?
Adrian, your eyes are freaking me out. I'm just saying.
I can't hear Phil at all. Adrian, while Phil's trying to figure out his microphone, how do you feel about the Braves winning the World Series?
It's been a long time coming. Thank you for having me on the show, and I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, we'll get into that too. Phil's going to leave us. He's going to come back in. That's what he does. All right. That's why we're not.
Interesting.
Jessica said she could hear Phil, but I can't. So I can't have a conversation with somebody I can't hear.
Interesting fact, though. The last time the Braves won the World Series, the Yankees won it the year after.
Don't get AJ started on that. All right. We don't say his name enough. He pops up.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, we all know they're not going to win, but I'm just saying the last time it happened.
Philip, you with us there, bud? Can you
No.
guys hear him?
No.
I can't hear him either. No, I can't hear
I
him.
mean, we got Marshawn over there that can do Phil, so it'll be fine.
Jessica put this up here that she could hear him, but we can't, which I don't understand. That's never been an issue before. We heard you for a split. Yes. The earbuds. Hi, cuz.
What's up?
How do you feel about the Atlanta Braves winning their first championship since '95?
Oh man, whatever.
I can't hear you. What? I'm sorry. What?
Congratulations.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. You're welcome.
Well.
Thank you, Jessica.
Listen, you're a man of many words. I know.
I know.
I'm speechless too.
We're gonna get that out of there, all right. And we're gonna talk about something that there's hot news, right? Chris Fant is chopping at the bit for us to talk about the shakeup in the college football rankings, and we will in a minute. But my next subject I got on the docket here is Mr. Rodgers led the media and the fans to believe that he was vaccinated by saying that he was immunized. And so now we come to find out that he's not vaccinated, that he did homeopathic medication, he ate tree bark, he took zinc, he did this, he did that. I don't know what the hell he did. But the bottom line is he's not vaccinated, so he put himself and others at risk while playing. How do you guys all feel about it? Cuz?
I care less about Aaron Rodgers after the offseason. So I mean, it is what it is. Did he lie? I mean, he didn't say he got vaccinated. He said he got I don't know what he got.
He said the word immunized.
Yeah. I mean,
so he did the old old wives' tales, the kind of thing. You put fresh mint under your pillow and the happy fairy shows up, and you put garlic around your neck while you sleep, you won't get bit by vampires. Adrian, how do you feel about Mr. Rodgers?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Oh, this show's going great. Harry, how do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, listen, let's be real. I don't think anyone really, I don't want to say doesn't care, but my thing is you don't want to get vaccinated. I mean, listen, you don't want to get vaccinated. Don't get vaccinated.
Right.
That's your choice. But my problem is they ask you a direct question. Are you vaccinated? Yes or no? No. Yes. End of story.
Right.
I mean, Carson Wentz is not vaccinated. Lamar Jackson's not vaccinated. There are people that are not vaccinated. My problem is
but they're honest about it.
You're not vaccinated, but yet you're not wearing the mask when you're supposed to, and you're not following the protocols that you're supposed to. And
they're not enforcing them either.
And Aaron Rodgers is a pompous asshole. And he's been a pompous asshole forever. He thinks he is smarter than all of us because he went to Cal and all this ridiculousness that comes out of his mouth. If I am a fan of the Green Bay Packers, if I'm Devontae Adams, if I'm a player on that team, I am grabbing him by his throat and saying, is there something fucking wrong with you that you would do this? Because you are literally costing your team a chance in the future because you don't want to follow the proper protocols.
They were 7-1. And heading to probably, at least maybe, the way they were going, possibly the NFC Championship game. I don't know. And then he gets pulled out for whatever reason. He's probably not going to play this week. They're not sure yet. He's cleared. He's literally cleared on Saturday. So I don't know what the rules are. Can he play? Can he not play? Yeah. And then Jordan Love looked like shit. So basically you're saying that if Green Bay has to move forward with or without Aaron Rodgers, it's just showing you how far they can go without Aaron Rodgers. Furthermore, the fine, sure, fine him, move on, sure, all that good stuff. But what he did, though, was fucking blatantly, like Harry said, asinine, putting people in danger is stupid. All right, it really was a stupid thing. What?
Are you surprised? Like, seriously though, like
I'm not.
honestly, ask yourself, are you surprised?
Character-wise, I'm not surprised, but he's one of the best players in the league, so he represents the league, not just the Green Bay Packers, not just himself.
But watching him over the past how many years, his entire career, are you surprised?
No. But let me ask you guys this question: how the hell does the NFL not know? How do the Packers not know? Like, how does this happen?
Somebody knows.
I
think that they were sweeping it under the rug until it all came out.
But that's the thing. Like, I mean, listen, you can take whatever stance you want, but the NFL has a lot of explaining to do because he was doing pressers without a mask on. He was doing everything without a mask on.
Practices, he's in close contact with the other quarterbacks.
If he's not Aaron Rodgers, this never happens. So
Jessica says, can he just get a fine or something just for lying? Not the fact that he wasn't immunized.
That's the problem. He was lying. He according to what they said, he was lying. You're not immunized at all. You immunized meaning that you have antibodies built up against the virus. He has none, unless he's already previously caught it. That he already has antibodies. If you're going from a scientific standpoint, but the thing is he broke NFL protocol that was put in place for the safety and welfare of the players and the fans and anybody associated with it. Like you said, the press conferences. When they do these press conferences and stuff where they have to speak in front of the media goes through protocol. They have to go through protocol mandated and put in place by the NFL for the safety and protection of the players. Now, if you have a player, whether they're vaccinated or not, breaking these protocols, that's a problem. He's not vaccinated. Big whoop. It's his choice. But the problem is the fact that he put everybody else at risk. He put the media at risk. He put players at risk. He put fans
people that were in close contact with him because they had heard that he had said that he's immunized. So
they went about it nonchalantly. Like, oh, okay, well, he's fine. Then I don't have to do all this. Just because you're vaccinated does not mean you won't get the virus. It's just
so does the NFL make him an example and make the fine heavy?
No, they're gonna fine him.
Does Green Bay lose a draft pick or something crazy like that?
No.
All right.
No, but and you know what makes it worse? His ridiculous asinine explanation. Talking about woke culture, talking about cancer culture, talking about all this crap. And you know what? I don't know if you guys heard him today. He has a weekly show with Pat McAfee. And he basically said that he apologizes if he misled people. You know why he was apologizing for misleading people? Because a health company that he is sponsored by and gets endorsements from said, you know what, you can kick rocks. And they got rid of him. You know what? It's crazy. People crucify Kyrie Irving all the time. Rightly or not rightly. Whatever.
Right.
But at least he's out there telling you he's not vaccinated.
Right.
And tell you why he's not
honest about it.
He's I'm immunized.
And let me tell you what, half the damn Sixers have COVID and they were all vaccinated.
And still
Joel Embiid is out for 10 days, maybe 2 weeks.
That's because he sniffed Ben Simmons' old shoes.
Well, we'll talk about Ben Simmons in a minute. Let's go to college. Go ahead, Harry.
Like you were saying, and he missed last week. They almost beat the Chiefs with the ridiculous play of Jordan Love. And if he doesn't play against the Seahawks, you go from 7-1 to 7-3, and a very tough NFC division.
Right. Conference. Right. Absolutely. So it makes things a little bit more difficult. We'll talk about the Packers in a minute. That's one of the games we're picking. All right. Here's the college football top 10. Georgia, Cincinnati, Alabama, and Oklahoma rounding out the top 4. Chris Vant said back when they rolled out the first rankings, why is not Cincinnati involved? Well, you got your wish. You keep winning games, and other teams have one loss now. Georgia and Cincinnati are now the only undefeated teams left, so they're number 1 and number 2. Go ahead, Phil. What?
I'm just saying that list is not the BCS list. Oh. I just want to state that because Cincinnati is 3, Alabama's 2, followed by Oklahoma, Ohio State at 5. Oregon's 9th.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How was Michigan on that list? Michigan just well, that's a different story. Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan State got beat by an unranked team, Purdue. Put up 49 points. Michigan State never led the game. Never. They were behind. I don't think Alabama should be second because they barely beat a.
I think how it is right there: Georgia, Cincinnati, Bama, Oklahoma. That's how it should be.
I think Oklahoma should be up 1.
Yeah, Bama should be number 4.
Yeah,
Bama should be number 4.
Every other team that barely, like Cincinnati, barely beat a non-ranking team, and they dropped like 3-4 spots. But Alabama barely beats a non-ranking team, and they stayed put at 2.
Yeah, right. Which makes no sense.
Yeah,
it's Alabama. It's the strength of Alabama. It's college football. The story of Alabama every damn year. Nick Saban every damn year. It's kind of like SEC, an America's team kind of thing where there's all of a sudden everybody's money.
It's money.
Right. It's money.
Years past, SEC is one of the strongest divisions, but they're not this year. I mean, they're not, and it's. I mean, Alabama got beat by an unranked Ole Miss or Mississippi State, one of the two. I don't remember.
Right.
And then barely beat LSU, and they're still. I don't know. I guess it's Nick Saban's got some pull. I don't know.
It's money.
He does. I'm telling you. It's like, it's about ratings. The country wants to see Alabama play in the playoff one way or another. That's what it is. And unless they something miraculously lost the second and or third game, they're gonna find a way to put them in that top 4.
I will say this. I am college football. My college football team is Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame fan through and through. But the only reason why Notre Dame is as relevant as they is because they have a TV deal. Yeah. If Notre Dame did not have that CBS TV deal, you wouldn't. Notre Dame would not be in the top constantly in the top 5 unless they play their way to the top and in the top 20. You know what I mean? Because look at some of the losses that they take. They lose to like some weird ass teams. Even though it's like rivals, but a lot of losses that they take are to unranked teams. And
is there any big games coming up either this Saturday or next Saturday that will affect this going?
No. Each, if I believe it, I think like Alabama's got Maryland or something like that. Here's the reason Alabama's not 4th. Why you got Georgia, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, and Alabama.
Right.
If it was to end this way, you're putting the game of the playoffs, the Georgia-Alabama, as the first week instead of the championship. That's all the reason. Because they should be ranked 4. They should be traveling to Georgia to play Georgia in the first round, and Cincinnati should be playing Oklahoma. But they want Alabama and Georgia BCS championship game, which would garner a lot more money than Georgia versus Cincinnati or Georgia versus Oklahoma.
Right.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Or Oklahoma versus Well, here, Big Chris Vance got a big comment here. Oklahoma is 9-0, but the BCS rank have Oklahoma out of the top 5. Oregon lost to a 2-win Stanford team. Cincinnati beat an okay Notre Dame team, and Cincinnati last 3 games against bad teams barely won. Bama is not that good this year.
No, they're not. Their defense is not as good, and that's their staple normally.
Right.
Is the Alabama defense.
Oklahoma's 4 in the BC rankings.
He said
when they should be number 3.
Yeah, Oklahoma's 4. So Georgia's 1, Alabama's 2, Cincinnati's 3, Oklahoma's 4, Ohio State's 5, Notre Dame's 6, Michigan 7, Michigan State 8th. Which I don't understand that because didn't State beat Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone beats Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan, like, how the hell does Harbaugh have a job? Like, I don't understand. Like, he
He
can't be,
signed a big ass long contract. That's
but he
why
doesn't do anything, though. He
they,
can't.
they on the hook for that money. They
When
was
you go,
guaranteed money.
but when you go to that, like, when you coach that school, you have one job and one job only. You beat Ohio State. He doesn't even come close to beating Ohio State.
Right.
You know, and he loses to, like, you blow a lead to Michigan State. You can't beat nobody.
BCS ranks don't come out till 9.
They did. They come out. That's the prediction on the 9th.
Right.
So hopefully,
Well, so we'll see. We'll see. Do I mean, being a fan, like I should say, casual fan of college football, like, and I'm on the outside looking in, would I rather see Alabama versus Georgia versus Cincinnati versus Oklahoma? Yes. But I mean, if you're a fan of those schools, obviously you're going to root for, your interest. And, Chris being a fan of Cincinnati, obviously, he'll have a rooting interest there. So we're going to switch gears then to I'm just here so I can not get fined, Ben Simmons. He agrees to meet with the Sixers appointed mental health clinician when the team starts finding him again. How coincidental?
Can I weigh in on this one?
Go ahead.
I don't care about Ben Simmons no more for the simple fact of this. Okay, he came in, showed up to practice, and then because stopped getting fined, then used the excuse that he had a mental health issue.
Correct.
And then was asked to see a doctor or a team physician doctor, and he refused to get help for his mental health because to me,
correct,
to the community, he's making a bad look for the people that do suffer from mental health, like Lane Johnson,
yes,
and all those that are seeking professional help. It was just, I think the excuse he used, I have no respect for him anymore. I could care less if he ever dribbles a basketball again in the NBA.
It's a disgrace.
It is.
You understand? It's a disgrace because the worst part about this is that the world knows he's full of shit, and the people who, like you said, suffer from actual mental health problems, have to sit here and see this guy claim that he's having mental health issues, and it makes me sick. The entire story makes me sick to my stomach. Throw the Sixers shit out of the window. The Sixers are playing. They're doing all right without him. My point is, forget about the basketball. The human being is a deplorable human being for doing what he's doing. But here's the problem. We all know he's full of shit. But when you claim you have mental issues, there is nothing that the NBA or anybody else can do.
I know.
He's going to get evaluated by a Sixers, by somebody that appointed by the Sixers, and that person's going to say, yeah, well, he does seem a little depressed about the fact about trying to, he's worried. He has anxiety issues about playing in front of the Philadelphia crowd because they fucking can't stand his guts right now. So that's overwhelming to him. We're going to hear all this shit. That's what we're going to hear. We're going to hear that, yeah, he has a problem. Should it stop him from playing? Probably not. But, who are they to say? Adrian, go ahead.
Everything Cousin Phil said is exactly how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
This dude, being someone who has mental health issues, this is insulting on a lot of levels. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Fuck Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. Fuck Ben Simmons.
Yep.
Why even hold on to somebody this fucking toxic? I have never in my life of watching sports seen somebody this diversive in a locker room outside of the shit that happened with Terrell Owens, outside
Right.
of the shit that happened with like the Odell Beckham shit. Like, this is worse. You put all that shit together, and it does not even top the shit that this man is doing.
Right.
And yet, he's still allowed to go out and play basketball. If this was a normal Joe on the street, guess what? He'd be blackballed. He'd be blacklisted. Nobody would hire him. Nobody would want him around. But because he's talented, he gets away with this shit.
Right. And Chris is right. He's average at best. But the thing is, the Sixers now have this big ticket that they need to try to get something out of. And
Dump his ass.
they did it. They did it to themselves. This is true. But Harry, do you have any opinion on this?
I do, and I agree with everybody involved. But I think that the bigger issue that people should not bigger, but I think the big issue here, he's doing this because he is just being petty at this point. Because what's going to happen is he's going to come off as the way he's coming off. Teams are going to see it. And he is literally forcing his way out in a new way. We saw how Harden did it. We've seen how other players do it. He has made his stance very clear. He does not care about what the Sixers get back for him. Teams are now going to look at this and go, I'm going to give you even less. And it is going to force the hand of the 76ers, who are going to get nothing, literally probably nothing out of it. And they're either going to get nothing or they're going to cut bait, which I don't blame him if they did. And he could care less. But what I think he fails to realize, and I don't think he cares even that much either about that, he is going to either have to play better than he's ever played, or this is going to be it. Whoever picks him up is he's gonna play out his deal,
right?
And that's going to be his NBA career,
right?
He is shooting himself in the foot, and I don't even think he realizes it, because for every amazing whatever he thinks he does, there is
his videos. He's the man.
Well, listen, he has to remember, I should say, that his playoff remnants from other teams is not very good. Like, he's not remembered well for his play. And he needs to just do whatever he's got to do and just retire, because his NBA career is over. And he's going to get whatever money he's owed, and that's fine. You know what? That's the way he wants to do it. Let him do it. But his NBA career is over.
Yeah, fuck Ben Simmons.
Well, yeah, fuck Ben Simmons.
All right, so
unanimous decision. Fuck Ben Simmons.
Wednesday, tomorrow night, our boy TJ Spitter is going to have a guest on who is an expert in mental health. So if anybody out there is watching this and you struggle with mental health, or you have family members who struggle with mental health issues, it's going to be a really good interview talking with somebody about all that tomorrow night on Spittin' with Spitter. So check that out, definitely. And if you are struggling with mental health issues yourself, there's plenty of help out there. I don't have there's a national mental health hotline. I don't have the number. I apologize for that. But you just like anything else, you Google it and boom, it's there. The national mental health hotline that's out there for if you need it. It's sad. Chris Vance says that these sports teams pay so much for these troubled players, especially the NBA. I mean, it happens a lot. I mean, the NBA, the way the collective bargaining agreement is really player friendly, like too much on their side versus the owners and the teams. And these guys can do pretty much whatever the fuck they want. I mean, there's guys out there who want to be the best and want to play basketball. They just love the game, and they love making millions of dollars playing it. But there's guys like this guy who thinks he's better than he really is. And then the Sixers contract was astronomically ridiculous, and why they gave him that much money. And then now it's biting him in the ass, and that happens to team after team after team after team with a lot of these problem childs.
Yeah,
all right.
There was a movie a couple years back, and when I say couple, 10, 15 years ago, with Brendan Fraser. He was a pitcher, and the Yankees signed him because he had like amazing fastball, but he had to go through a psychological evaluation, and he didn't pass it, and they worked with him. And that's an actual thing that the MLB does is psychological evaluations to see how you can handle it, the pressure, the media, the people, and your own health. And that's
good movie, by the way, too. Very good movie.
The NFL has that too. They have each team has their own mental health physician. So if guys are having issues, they can go talk to that person and be medicated if they need to be.
No, I'm talking about prior to being drafted or.
Oh yeah.
I'm not talking about throughout the season. Everybody has that, obviously, but I'm talking about prior to being drafted.
All right. So speaking of assholes, Odell Beckham Jr. is a free agent after clearing waivers today, 4 p.m. today, I believe it was, where teams could claim him off of waivers. He is now an unrestricted free agent. Where does he land?
Seattle.
Because he's going to Seahawks. Is that what you think?
I read 4 teams, and out of the 4 teams, everybody in Philadelphia saying he's going to Philadelphia. We don't need him because we can't even throw the ball anyway. I like Seattle out of all of them. I think the other ones was like San Francisco,
New Orleans.
There was a couple of them.
I think the Saints is where he should go.
Saints was one of them because they're about to lose Deontay Harris, who got a DUI, filing probation for that.
And
after that whole Henry Ruggs thing,
right?
Looking good for Deontay Harris. But Seahawks, because they took a chance on Josh Gordon when he came back, you know what I mean? So it's like, and they got room for him up there. Which I didn't realize is that the Seahawks are 1 game out of the 7th seed of the playoffs behind the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, because you have extra wild cards now.
But who knew Atlanta was in that spot?
The Falcons. They're right in there. There you go, Al.
I was shocked at that.
Falcons are right in there. Falcons are going to make the playoffs. The Eagles aren't. The Falcons are.
Oh, I hope the Eagles are. Listen, when Justin Hubert threw that touchdown pass, I was so happy. And my coworker's like, ain't you an Eagles fan? I'm like, yeah, but I want the Eagles to lose every game so they get rid of his ass. Plus, he was going against you, Herbert.
Right. I know. Believe me, I felt that sting. I also felt the sting of Josh Allen against the fucking Jaguars, and they lose.
Well, Josh Allen also felt the sting of Josh Allen, so don't feel bad.
But I say Seattle, so I'm moving on to the next 2.
All right. Adrian, where does Odell Beckham Jr. land?
I think Seattle would probably be the best spot. They took away from Josh Jordan, but Josh Gordon couldn't stop smoking weed. Like, he didn't have the antics that, Captain Crab ass has.
I was gonna catch the ball, but I was too high.
Yeah. He up there throwing hissy fits and shit because mom ain't paying him enough attention and daddy was throwing the ball.
Because I got high.
Like, he upset.
In your head now, isn't it?
Playing with the goalposts and shit on the sideline. So no,
I don't think anyone wants him. Might not ever play again this year. You agree?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I would not.
Harry, where does OBJ end up?
Well, where I think he's going to end up is not where I think he should go. Where I think he's going to go is I think he's going to go to the Packers. Personally.
Okay.
Where he should go, I think he should go to New England.
They don't want him.
Oh, let me tell you something. If New England was to get Odell, I think they might do some serious damage.
He wants to go to a contender.
New England's a contender.
Oh no, I know. They're right there. They're nipping at. They're 5-4. They're nipping at Buffalo's heels now.
But
shut up, cuz I know. Yeah, didn't I tell you the New England's going to be back? Didn't I say Mac Jones? Yeah, You've correctly predicted like 90% of the NFL football games this year. Let's be real.
If the Packers were to get Odell, I think it put.
The fuck you say?
All right, listen. I liked your son at one point. I'm just gonna
You
say
did,
it.
didn't it?
At one point.
Nah, send his ass to Atlanta.
Yeah, they need him.
No.
He don't want to go there.
Listen,
I tell you, I would take him to the. If I were the Raiders, I would take after losing Ruggs and all that. If I were the Raiders, I would go after him. But I think he's going to end up in New Orleans.
I think you should go to the Lakers because the Lakers apparently need somebody.
There you go, the Lakers.
Hey, Deshaun went to the Raiders.
By the way, how are the Lakers doing lately?
Terrible. Yeah.
You know that? Deshaun Jackson went to the Raiders.
Yes, he is going to the Raiders.
There you go. Imagine OBJ and Deshaun Jackson on the same team.
No,
They'd be slap fighting on the sidelines.
It'd be awesome.
the goalpost would be bent because one
It'd
of
be
them.
great. Oh, he's now a Bulls fan, by the way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Lonzo.
What's the Bulls have played the Sixers twice so far this season and lost.
I
both
want the ball, Deshaun. Stop it.
All right, so let's not let. All right, wait. Chris got one more comment in here. He goes somewhere, gets hurt again. He's out for a year. Not worth the risk. Never stays healthy. I think he's talking.
Cole Hamels.
But the but
That goes for Deshaun Jackson too.
But what is the risk? I mean, there's no risk at all.
$7 million.
No, you don't pay anything.
You pay
sign him
$7
to whatever
million.
you want. He gets money, but you can sign him to whatever. You can sign him to the minimum.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he's an unnerstricted free agency.
There's no risk if you're
You
anything.
can give veteran whatever veteran minimum is for the rest of the season.
And he's not getting anything past this year.
It's more than halfway over anyway. We're
No risk.
we're past the halfway point. Now that you have 17 weeks or 17 games instead of 16, it's weird, but
Give him
whatever.
2 hot pockets. He'll be happy.
All right, so let's pick some games.
Get a game.
I have updated the standings. I went back, I watched some tape, I figured it out. AJ's out because AJ didn't give us picks last week at all. He's out. Adrian's 26-10, or no, you're 26-10 because Adrian's 24-12. Harry is 21-15, and I'm 19-17. I'm the low man on the totem pole. So Phil is in the lead by 2 games. Harry's right there, 3 games behind Adrian, and I'm way behind. So let's get going on our 4 games we're going to pick this week. Which let's
taking whatever Shango's taking.
No, you're not. Let's assume that the thing about this game is let's assume that Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I can't say that for sure, but he's cleared to play on Saturday, and I don't know if the league was going to do anything to him or not. So that's the problem with this game. Another thing too is Russell Wilson comes back.
Collins.
Huh?
And Chris Collins.
So there you go. So how do you see this playing out in Green Bay? Philip?
Damn, Shango.
No, I have you going first. Not every game. I'm just saying this one.
I'm going Seattle, whether Rodgers is there.
Whether Rodgers plays or not, Wilson comes back and
Wilson coming back, and Chris Collins is the piece I'm looking for, or Chris Carson. I mean, so that's why I'm going Seattle over to Green Bay.
Adrian, Seattle over to Packers.
I mean, it's this is a tough one to pick. I mean, Aaron Rodgers comes back. Does he have his team behind him?
Why not?
I mean,
they're teammates. They're going to be behind him anyway, no matter what. You can't. You can't look at it that way. The bottom line is whether he plays or whether he doesn't play. We don't know.
If Aaron Rodgers is playing, I don't care who's back. I'm taking. Fuck. You know what? I'm gonna take Seattle.
Okay. Harry.
I mean, it's a big thing. If Aaron Rodgers plays, I'm taking the Packers. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, I'm taking anybody else but the Packers because Jordan Love is terrible.
He's a terrible knucklehead. He don't know how to coach football with nobody.
I watched him and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you really that bad? Like, I'm going to go Seattle.
Okay.
I have a whole bunch of questions about that young man. He was just getting on my nerves. The way he would just run around, going in a circle, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
So I'm going to assume that Rodgers is playing, and I'm going to take Green Bay because y'all took Seattle, and I'm way behind, so why not? Stupid reason, but it sounds like a good theory to me.
And Chris Carson is not definitely back. They're not going to rush him, is what they said.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he'll be back. He'll be on Saturday.
The next game that we have on air is the Chiefs and the Raiders. Interesting game because it's a big divisional rivalry. It's in Vegas. It's huge for both teams. The Chiefs obviously are starting to, get their feet back underneath them after, looking so terrible for a few weeks. The Raiders are in turmoil. Different things are happening right there.
Yeah.
So I
wait, hold on. What feet are you talking about right now?
The club feet?
Well, that the Chiefs the one past couple games.
Did you? What? The feet? No. Like they still almost lost that game,
but they won. But they won.
But they still won by 40. Like
that's not the point. The point is that they're back in this race where they were left for dead 2 weeks ago.
Oh, they're dead. They're dead.
Okay. So I guess you're taking the Raiders.
Well, yeah, no, I'm definitely taking the Raiders. Yeah.
Okay. Adrian.
Yeah, I'm. It's hard not to take the Raiders. It's hard not to take the Raiders. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Take the Raiders.
I'm taking the Chiefs. And you, Phil.
After I wrote down the other thing.
All right, that's it. Adrian.
All right,
I'm just putting pressure on Phil.
Phil, Chiefs or Raiders.
Oh, the Chiefs barely beat the Packers 13-7. They beat the Giants by 3.
Did you see the upsets this week? I mean, that doesn't mean shit anymore. It seems like any given Sunday. The Jaguars beat the damn Bills.
Denver beat Dallas.
Denver beat Dallas. No, they didn't beat Dallas. They whooped Dallas ass 30-0.
They did. That was embarrassing.
I tell you what, man, I'm gonna give Shango a chance. I'm gonna go Raiders.
I want a chance. What the hell?
Okay. What the fuck? I'm picking.
I didn't even know Harry was in the race.
And I'm gonna pick. He's had a good couple of weeks, and I'm taking the Chiefs because it's what you guys aren't.
You know what I'm surprised I ain't chiming up with answers and guesses and shit is Jessica. Where the hell you at?
And by the way, you also thought the Astros were going to win. So I'm not really,
Yeah, but that's baseball versus football. Don't ever doubt. You might have doubt. You can doubt Phil all you want on baseball, but don't doubt him on football. Not this season. Like he's locked. He's locked in.
I got a.
He was like me. He's like
lead
me.
over in AJ.
Seriously. No, actually, I'm now in second in that
16-game lead.
Yeah, he has a 16-game lead on second place.
What?
That's picking every single NFL game straight up.
Oh.
All right. All right. So the next game is Minnesota and the Chargers. Minnesota had an interesting game this past week. It looked like they had a good chance to win that game, but they did not. They came up short. The Ravens. The Ravens.
Ravens. Oh, okay.
Lost 2 seconds left in OT.
Right. They lost Justin Tucker field goal. So barely escaped that. But the Vikings look good the past couple weeks. LA, they played Philadelphia. I thought, yeah, they did look good, but Philadelphia's defense playing that soft zone shit. There's been 5 different quarterbacks who have gone 80% passing against Philadelphia playing that ridiculous whatever the hell scheme that is by Jonathan Gannon. It's stupid. So I think the Chargers look better than they actually are because the 2 weeks before that, they didn't look they look like shit. So now it's an interesting game because the AFC West now is all, they're all like one game away from each other or close or tied. It's pretty close. So the Chargers need this game, but Minnesota needs it too to stay relevant in in the wild card talk and things like that. So who do you got, Harry? Vikings or Chargers in LA?
Oh, if you're going to make me pick Justin Herbert and Kirk Cousins, I'm going Justin Herbert all day. I mean, Kirk Cousins he's very average, And
he always has been, but he somehow gets these big contracts from Washington and Minnesota.
You know what? He knows how to play the system. He took that Washington situation.
Chargers need a statement game, says Big Chris.
Listen, Justin Herbert is the real deal, and the Chargers, they're coming. They may not be.
He's got great weapons, though. He's got Keenan Allen, and then he's got Eckler in the backfield.
Well, so does Baker Mayfield, but I mean, that doesn't matter. He's got that gene where what? If you need him to win a game for you, he's going to win that game for you. He showed a lot against Philly, who played very well, by the way, even with that crappy defense. They played.
The offense stayed in it. I mean, they ran the ball. They did what they had to do. They ran the ball a lot. Jalen Hurts didn't make any mistakes. He had a couple bad throws where he was under pressure, but he didn't throw the ball away, or he didn't turn over the ball or anything. And they only asked him to throw it like 17 times, and everybody's like, "Oh, how can you evaluate Jalen Hurts when he throws the ball 17 times every week?" Mac Jones only threw the ball fucking 18 times, and they won that game because so it is what it is. Adrian, Vikings, Chargers.
Definitely the Chargers. Chargers got a better defense than the Vikings. Definitely the Chargers. And I believe there's a young man by Eckler who's playing too, right?
Yes,
he is.
So,
and there's a gentleman by Keenan Allen who's playing.
Yes.
There's one of the
Kirk Cousins lost to Cooper Rush. There is nothing you can say to me that'll get me to back up Kirk Cousins.
You better put some respect on Cooper Rush's name.
Huh?
All right? You better put some respect on.
No, that ain't never.
I try to say it. I can't.
Yeah.
Phil, Vikings, Chargers.
Oh, Chargers.
Come on, Cooper Rush.
Chargers.
Put some respect on it.
I'm taking Minnesota.
The hell is wrong with you?
All right.
Yeah.
You heard it. Our last game is Rams and 49ers, a divisional game. The Rams didn't all look that great this week. But they are the Rams. And when you watch the shows, you watch like around the horn, you watch Party Interruption, you watch Skip and Shannon, you watch all those shows that talk football. The Rams are still a heavy favorite in everybody's mind, especially with the turmoil going on in Green Bay, to win the NFC. But every time they play the 49ers, it's always a close game. Throw the records out the window. It is. It's a rivalry. It's in San Fran. It's Monday Night Football. It's, I think it's going to be really, really close. I think the Rams pull it out at the end. But I'm going to go ahead and pick them. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Like, people think they're not going to go in there and stomp the guts out of the 49ers. They're not. Because that's just not – it's just not going to happen. But I think the Rams win the game. Harry?
The Rams are going to stomp the hell out of the 49ers. For this, because if you look at the 49ers –
Hear that, Tom?
For whatever reason, they're just not very good defensively. They're not. Like,
Von Miller makes his debut, by the way, this week in a Rams uniform.
Oh, he does?
If you look at it from just a season perspective, like the 49ers, without record, they're not very good.
No.
And that Kyle Shanahan, I think, needs to be on the hot seat because, he's not producing. Besides that one Super Bowl appearance, they're not very good.
Well, I don't think it's completely his fault though. They he got them. Just a couple years ago, he got them to the Super Bowl.
But
so
he's apparently a genius, and they're just not good. And they have players on defense.
You got the IQ of boiled pizza. I'm taking the Rams.
Okay, gotcha. And Phil, you get last pick. See how I did that? You got first pick, and now you got last pick.
And you're gonna pick the 49ers because
49ers are like 1-4 in their last 5 games.
Yeah.
But they're going to be 2-5.
So that's our picks for this week. Hope everybody enjoys all that stuff. So I got one last question and this concerns Adrian. Do you believe in the Cowboys now?
It's the wrong time to ask them.
No. Point fucking proven. You get blown out. By the Rams.
By the Broncos.
By the Broncos. But here's the thing. If you look at it, they have a really bad track record for some reason against Teddy Bridgewater. They always lose to Teddy Bridgewater. They lost to him when he was a starting quarterback for the Saints when Breeze was out. And look, they lost him again when he was with the Broncos. Starting quarterback.
It goes further than that.
If they were as elite and as good as they were saying, like what happened? They lost their best defensive player. He's gone. All they got is that Simmons kid.
They trade Von Miller away, and it seemed like they played better.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of stepped it up a little bit.
So, unless they were looking past them and not paying attention and wasn't really fully ready for this game at home, what does that say?
All right.
Still a Cowboys fan, but I'm a realist.
It says that the Bills lost to the Jaguars. It says it happens.
It does.
I'm not saying it's not concerning. That game is very concerning.
Yes.
Very concerning if you're a fan. But, listen, I want to see better production against the run. But I think, and this is just, I don't know if, Adrian, you agree, without Tyron Smith, we're just not very good for whatever reason.
No, you're absolutely right.
Cowboys will be fine. Win the division easy, but you're right. They win the division easy, but playoffs, can they win there? Cuz
no.
I think they do. I think they can make it through the playoffs.
NFC Championship?
No, I don't see them going that far, but I do see them winning at least one game.
See, I think you're wrong. I think the NFC Championship is Rams and Cowboys, and the Rams beat the Cowboys in the NFC Championship.
I can see that. I could see the Cowboys making the NFC Championship just because on their offense alone.
If Dak stays healthy. All right.
When Kansas City won, their defense wasn't very good either, but they had a nice offense.
One last question, boys, and we're out of here. Who wins the AFC West? They're all pretty much tied right now. With everybody's got 5 wins.
I don't know the answer to that without looking at their schedule.
What? Well, the answer to that is who you're most confident in, because everybody in the beginning of the season were all Patrick Mahomes, it's the Kansas City Chiefs, and now they're garbage to everybody now. The national perception of them is that they're not what they used to be. Patrick Mahomes keeps turning the ball over. They have no defense. Then you go to the Raiders. who were playing pretty damn good for the most part. And then they had the whole Ruggs thing happen. Then you go to the Broncos, who start off hot. They were like 4-0 or 3-0 or whatever. And then they were like losers of 4 of their last 5 games until this week, when all of a sudden they show up against Dallas Cowboys after losing Von Miller. Then you got the Chargers, who for 3 weeks they're great. Next 3 weeks they suck. So now they're great again. So I mean, to me, if I had to put money on it, I'd tell you, put a gun to my head, pull the trigger, because I'm not betting on any of these teams to win the damn division.
I'm going Chargers just by the rest of the division, because I don't trust anybody else in that division.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders could do it if everybody stays healthy.
But the thing is who you throwing the ball to now? Hunter Renfrow,
Here we go. Deshaun Jackson.
All right, okay. Well, still.
Well, that's why they got to pick up. They got to pick up OBJ too.
By the way, can we just say how bad that draft was for the Raiders? Because you got Henry Ruggs, who likes to drive drunk and doing 100 billion miles an hour, and then you got that cornerback that loves to just show off his gun collection on Instagram or whatever. Yeah, I think they need to fire Mike Mayock, honestly.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything else to add? Cuz anything?
I like the story that's coming out with the Morris and Jaka, the Denver Miami game, and then the brother from the Clippers got into it. Morris from Clippers, and then the 2 brothers got into it, and Morris is like, "Yeah, I'll take you." But I'm like, the one dude's a Muay Thai fighter. Like, you ain't taking him.
Oh yeah, no, his brothers are like freaking. I wouldn't mess with them. They're connected somewhere. Somewhere they're connected with some mafia somewhere.
Like some kind of.
I'm telling you.
Here we go, Chris Fant, Kentucky versus Duke tonight. Who do you got?
This is Coach K's last season.
It is.
Yes.
There ain't no way he's starting with an L.
By the way, this is the oldest team that Calipari has since he's been there. And I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say that Duke wins the whole thing.
There you go.
That's my prediction. They will cut down the nets and beat UCLA.
How about that? He's going Final Four way. He's talking March.
I agree.
By the way, Harry, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
It is going to be I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills are going to win the Super Bowl.
I'm still on the Buffalo Bills too. I'm not. Yeah, I thought this week was just a hiccup.
Yeah, and they're going to beat Dallas in the.
They'll be fine. They're all around defense, coaching.
No.
They are not going to beat this. No. All right, I'm shut. No, I'm not. I am not. You did not just fucking say that. Get the hell out of here.
I see you shiver with anticipation.